Hello everybody, Richard Tripp with you, and we're joined today by new Highlands University Athletic Director, Andrew Ealing. Andrew, welcome to today. You know, a lot going on in the world, obviously. You know, the coronavirus, we'll get into all that stuff later on, but just for you, still getting acclimated to Las Vegas, still getting acclimated to the surroundings, but how are you and your family dealing with all this?
Well, we haven't been able to get out in Las Vegas too much. You know, we came and visited in December looking for homes, and my kids immediately loved Charlie's. I mean, they fell in love with Charlie's right off the bat. I mean, they want to go get donuts, and they want to, but we went to a couple places. I mean, we've really enjoyed being around Las Vegas, and since kind of this pandemic has started, we've gone hiking. We went out to Hermit's Peak and hiked that. My kids survived about 2 miles of that, which is impressive. They're 5 and 7, so you know, that can be a challenge. But we hiked about 2 miles out towards Hermit's Peak and just kind of enjoyed the outside, which is one reason why we came to Las Vegas, is enjoy the outdoors.
You come from the Midwest, of course, attended K-State University. You go on to McPherson. We had a very great career as a head baseball coach. Then you become the athletic director, which we understand you did some great things over there with the budget, raising money and whatnot. Then you come to Las Vegas, New Mexico, to New Mexico Highlands, a Division II school, up from the NAIA over at McPherson. Was it a big change for you?
Kind of, yes and no. I mean, it's a big change because you got to adapt to new processes and new protocols and the way things are ran at New Mexico Highlands versus McPherson. I mean, everything's a little bit different, and so just those things are things I had to adapt with. But you know, still working with people, building relationships, focused on the student athlete experience. I mean, that doesn't change. We're still dealing with 18 to 22 year olds, and we want them to graduate and be successful in life, and then you know, obviously be competitive in athletics. And so that's all the same. But enjoyed adapting to Las Vegas and New Mexico Highlands, and you know, we love the people here, and you know, my wife has really enjoyed her time in Las Vegas, and my kids are really happy. So, you know, what else is there?
McPherson, I understand, has an enrollment of about 450 to 500 students. On campus, when everything is going well for Highlands, let's say maybe 1,000, 1,500, you know, it'd be nice to get it up higher. So as far as the enrollment goes, dealing with the same amount of student athletes, not much of a change there?
It's a little different, and you know, at McPherson, we were able to get it up to about 700 students, but still 60% of them are student athletes. I mean, we had 15 varsity sports, and for all the majors, football had about 120 on their roster. And you know, when you're thinking about 700 students, and 400 of them are student athletes, I mean, that you're involved in every discussion on campus.
Right.
Here we don't have the same ratio, but obviously still a large influence on campus, and so it's not exactly the same, but it's still pretty similar.
You know, for you coming over to Las Vegas, I think we're very blessed to have a man like you come on over. You know, you and I have talked, a few times, and your vision, and we've talked about that. But one of the things that I kind of read was the camaraderie, if you will, or the relationship that you had at McPherson that you want to bring to Highlands, whether it's with the student athletes or the coaches. That seems to be one of your strong points, I guess you can say.
Relationships are everything. I mean, you want to have a trustworthy process, and for that to happen, you need to be honest and open and as transparent as you can be with the people that you work with and the people that we're trying to help graduate and move forward. So, relationships are a big part of it. And, this is also a profession, and we have that side of it, but we're trying to, foster lifelong relationships. That's what a lot of student athletes, I mean, I think about my playing days, and, you develop lifelong friends, and you're connected with those coaches and the people that helped with the game day experience and all. I mean, those are all relationships that that we're fostering. And so that is a big part of it.
Due to the pandemic, of course, you've been able to talk to the coaches, but you haven't had much to start any relationships with any student athletes yet. So it's pretty much when they come back, we're going to say when they do come back, that's probably going to have to be one of the areas, I guess, to try and get involved again with.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't really been able to be around a lot of our student athletes yet. I spent quite a bit of time with football because we're searching for a coach right when I got here. So I spent some time with football student athletes to get to know them and the needs for the program. And unfortunately, when it comes to baseball and softball, I had to get in front of them and tell them that their season's over because of this pandemic. So there hasn't been a lot of positive conversation when it comes to our spring sports. However, I was able to go to our indoor track and field meet up in Colorado Springs before all this happened, and so I was able to be around at least our track student athletes, and that's the best part, is being around, watching them compete. They work so hard, hours on end, weekly to compete and be at the peak performance at the right time, and it was a lot of fun to see them compete. I wish, obviously I'm missing out on that this spring.
Andrew, we're going to take a little break here, and we come back in the next segment. We're going to talk more about how the pandemic has affected things at New Mexico Highlands and in the NCAA as well as the RMAC, and looking ahead, moving forward when we come back.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to newmexicohighlands.com today.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Man, this beat is crazy.
Wow.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to newmexicohighlands.com today.
Welcome back, everybody. Richard Tripp with Highlands University Athletic Director Andrew Ealing. And Andrew, well, a lot's been going on, needless to say. People might think that, well, now with the pandemic, there's not much going on. The wheels have to keep turning. Like you said before we went to break, having to meet with the baseball team, the softball team, the track and field team, and even the football team in some respects to cut off, the spring workouts. It must have been a little bit difficult.
It's certainly different. Usually this time of year where, you're dealing with all the travel and the games of baseball and softball and track and field, and typically you're dealing with the weather and what that's going to bring for baseball and softball scheduling and having to adjust. We haven't had to deal with any of that. And it's good and bad because you don't get to see everyone compete. Mm-hmm. The good, selfishly, is I've been able to spend some more time with my family, right. which is always a good thing. But yeah, it's we've been trying to focus on how do we keep our student athletes engaged. What's NCAA's rulings? How do we adjust to those? What's the RMAC? What are their rulings? When it comes to our student athletes training. So we've been trying to adapt and be creative, and we still need to go recruit. We still need to prepare for next year. I mean, none of that's stopping. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to be proactive, and we haven't had to try to stay busy. We've been staying pretty busy with that.
In an office, like a college athletic office, like you just said, you have to always be ahead of the game, like as an athletic director. Mm-hmm. The last thing you want to be as an athletic director is even or behind. In fact, behind is even worse. So by doing that, your office staff, which is great, you're always looking ahead. Like you said, we still have to schedule. But at the same time, in the back of your mind, you're still meeting with the NCAA. You're still meeting with the RMAC, I'm sure, on a weekly or however long you guys meet. And how is that going with the NCAA and the RMAC?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just wait to hear from NCAA. But with the RMAC, we were meeting, every week, and we had our spring meetings last week via Zoom. That was a regular scheduled, spring meeting, mm-hmm. And we spent a lot of time talking about the future and what that holds, and we talked about scheduling and some of the things that need to be discussed, but. It's really how can we work together to move forward and think about the issues proactively. What if this happens? What if that happens? Those are things that I really have respected the other athletic directors and our commissioner, Chris Graham. I mean, he's done a great job of leading the RMAC with being proactive and all the different scenarios that could happen, but what are the things that we can control and focus on and give our student athletes the best opportunities to succeed.
With that said, talking about student athletes, I know like every university across the nation, you're still going through with the classes. You still got to make sure that the student athletes are doing their thing, whether it be through study halls, meeting with their coaches. How's that working out?
Yeah, I think it's working out really well. I mean, honestly, I think our coaches have really done a good job of adapting to the situation. Yeah, the classes, even though they're online or it's distance learning, their classes are still being held at the same time as if they were in class. If they're having a Zoom class, if the professor's having a presentation during Zoom or on Zoom, then they're doing it at the same time as what their class was regularly scheduled. And so our coaches are having to work around our students' class schedules still when it comes to their study hall sessions and film sessions in some case, and whatever else that they can do to keep them engaged. But the student athletes are hungry for things to happen. I mean, they're just like the rest of us, where they're kind of stuck at home. They're not really able to go anywhere. They can't really go into a gym. They can't work out in the gym. So we're trying to give them ideas and creative ways of still being able to stay in shape.
You know, we got about a minute before we go to our next break, but I just want to touch on this and then we'll come back to it. Has the NCAA or the RMAC given any type of guidelines as far as meeting and working with athletes?
Yeah, so we still have to follow the hours that if we were in class and on campus. There's a certain amount of hours a week that we can, the 20 hours a week, we can't go over. So we're still following those rules and staying compliant with NCAA and RMAC regulations, and that's the same as if we were here. So that's important to follow, and you know, honestly, our student athletes are hungry for more, but they're doing those study halls, and that's what's giving them more.
You know, when we come back, you know, for our third segment, I want to talk about how the NCAA is allowing spring athletes that extra year of eligibility. Your thoughts on it when we come back. More coming up.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to newmexicohighlands.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Wow.
Come on, man, this beat is crazy.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to newmexicohighlands.com today.
Richard Tripp back with Andrew Ealing, the athletic director at New Mexico Highlands University. You know, Andrew, one of the things that people always ask or they want to know is, in every university, again, across the nation, how are you staying engaged? How do you need to stay engaged not only with your student athletes, but with the alumni, with just everybody in general?
Well, with the student athletes, obviously our coaches are doing that. I mean, that's what we talk about every week. We have our staff meeting every Tuesday, and we're trying to come up with ideas and what's everybody doing to stay engaged with their student athletes. When it comes to alumni and our supporters, you know, I've sent out a newsletter through our H Club to kind of give an update on what's going on, and we're going to do something through our alumni office as well, and that's one way of doing it is having some reading and staying updated with everything that's going on. I really want to try to find ways to engage. We had some meet and greets planned, kind of a traveling meet and greet tour, I guess, but obviously we had to cancel all those. And so the alumni office did something last Friday, and I guess every Friday they're doing this at 4 o'clock. They're doing kind of a happy hour, and you can kind of log in and get to that Zoom link and just kind of enjoy other alums and ask questions. And I think President Minner is going to be on next time. But I was on there last Friday, and we other coaches were on, and we just kind of talked athletics and connected with other alumni throughout the nation. They were from all over. We had Washington State there. We had Arizona and Phoenix. We had Dallas. They're from all. We had Kansas City. They're from all over, and so it's good to kind of catch up that way. So it kind of has inspired me to think of maybe some other ways of engaging through Zoom, and maybe like a coffee on Zoom. You know, do something in the morning, do a 30-minute, 1 hour coffee in the morning, just trying to catch up with those who want to talk.
I think that's interesting when you think about it, because it, you know, one of the things already that, you know, I've enjoyed about being around you for the short time is you kind of like want to be out there. And I think it's important, because a lot of people may look at it and say, well, he's probably sitting behind his desk, or what can they be doing now? But it kind of goes back to what you and I have talked about, is you want to set that image right away. You want people to know, look, we are being proactive in any way that we can.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because I'm not one that really likes attention. I really don't. I'd rather kind of be off in the woods or something, and enjoying the outdoors by myself or with a couple of friends or hunting buddies. But it is important. I understand that there's a need to know what's going on in athletics, and I understand that's really, really important for our alumni and our supporters, and there's an interest, and it's good that there's an interest. So I want to get out in front of that and make sure that I'm answering those questions and sharing information and where are we at with our student athletes, and it's kind of a full circle, because when you do that, and then the student athletes know there's people interested, and they feel loved, right? I mean, they feel like, hey, the people do care. They are interested in what we're doing, because it's real easy as a student athlete and a coach. You're practicing every day and you go through that routine and you don't really see people. The only time you see people is at games.
Right.
And it's really important to know that people are thinking about you outside of those games, and they care more than what you do in those games. They're caring about your education and how you're developing as a person. So it's important to engage with everyone we can.
You know, even perhaps after the pandemic has given, or the government has given us the all clear, I guess that might be something kind of keep in mind to continue, I guess, and say through the Zoom meetings and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because like you said, that obviously the meet and greet last week was a big success.
Yeah, I think Zoom has kind of changed a lot of our lives in a sense. And I could see some of these things continuing even. I mean, I think face-to-face is always more important, but what Zoom can do is bring in people from all over the world. It's not just in the Las Vegas or New Mexico area. It is all over the world. So it's I could definitely see some of those things happening after this is all over.
You know, we only have a couple of minutes left, and I did want to ask you the question, but the NCAA has passed that spring athletes will be awarded another year of eligibility based on what has taken place. Everyone's worried about finances, how it's going to affect incoming freshmen. I'm sure you've heard it all. So we'll just kind of get your thoughts on that real quick.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation that those seniors had to be told that their season wasn't going to happen. And at the time that we informed them, we didn't know what was going to happen. So we didn't know what the scholarship situation is going to be or eligibility. We didn't know any of that. All I knew is that there was no more athletics happening for the remaining of the spring. So we did find out that they were extending our, everyone's going to get that year back. No one's going to lose a year based off of the pandemic. And then when it comes to scholarship, they're allowing the schools to basically go over their scholarship limit to allow them to keep those seniors going into next year, because we did sign for next year.
Right.
And so instead of telling the newcomers, sorry, we can't give you your scholarship, we can still honor that scholarship and then allow our seniors to keep theirs as well.
I think that's very important, not only for the student athlete, but the parents.
Yes.
Of those freshmen especially. Like you said, have signed or whatever. I think it's very important for them as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Whenever you have to tell somebody you're going to take away scholarship money, it's not going to go over very well. No matter the situation.
Right.
Even in this situation, which is probably the most reasonable situation that you could maybe come up with, that okay, I understand that scholarship may not be there anymore. It's still not a good reason. So the fact that we can still honor the scholarships that we have granted is a great piece of news.
I think that's a very positive message. You know, Andrew, we only have like about 20 seconds left. Anything you want to tell the public out there about New Mexico Highlands University?
Just that we're working hard and we're excited about the future, and it's, we haven't really lost ground. I think we've gained ground in this time. So we're excited and can't wait to get going this fall and come out and watch a game or come support us.
Great show, wasn't it? I loved it. I'd like to thank Andrew Ealing, the athletic director of Highlands University, for coming on. Join us every week for a special guest, different guest. We're going to be here. So Andrew, thank you for coming on. I'm Richard Tripp, and as always, peace everybody. We're out.